So, Sinetro, the first question, what are your thoughts on the new rules which are introduced now this time? I think it's 18 crores for the first retention, then 14, and then after that you go to, I think, 12, not 12, 11, then you go to again 18 and then 14. So, what are
Hmm.
your thoughts on that?
Well, I feel like the I feel IPL should move on from the auctions. First of all, they should definitely try something different because with the auctions, you are limiting yourself with how much you can pay your players. There should be a budget cap, and they should follow something like, pay the players how much they deserve. Because it will always be unfair to a player like Bumrah because the team will never want him to go over there and then he has to earn that limited amount of money. Where if Bumrah goes in the auction, he's definitely earning more than what he's earning in Mumbai Indians. So I feel like the auction should be removed as a whole and a different format should be used. But yeah, that's about it.
I also feel the same. I feel like players are not valued fairly with this new system, and then some teams who try to nurture so many players and try to integrate them into their team. I think now they'll have to let go of their players. A good example of teams are like Mumbai Indians, KKR, and like other big teams like
Yeah.
you know we can name like tons of teams who have like young players who they've scouted, even Rajasthan Royals. So I think
I
they'll
mean,
be
then,
little bit angry with this rule being introduced. But I think
but
otherwise
that
teams like what do you
but
say?
that has always been the case. No, every year there is. I mean, every 2 3 years there has been a big auction where teams have to let go of their majority players.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I think now it's a little bit more unfair. Like most of the teams now, I think 90% of
Yeah.
the teams already scout. I think back in the day, it was only Mumbai Indians who used to like scout all these, young players
Mm.
and try to integrate them into the first team. I think now it's much more different compared to what it was back then.
But again, at the end of the day, it's just a matter of perspective, right? If a team decides, like if a team like RCB is there, obviously they're going to be like, oh yes, this rule is just benefiting us. Somebody like Punjab is there, oh yes, this is how it should be done, because they haven't built anything over the past year. So they are looking at this rule and they are like, yes, this is very beneficial and this is how it should go.
Yeah, I think that's the reason, right? Certain teams will be, benefiting more than the others, and there's nothing that we can do about it as fans. I think the teams will be really devastated, but I think, yeah, I think life is always unfair. You can't get what you want. But there's another interesting rule. I think that there's 4 crores for an uncapped player now. So if you want to retain any uncapped player, it's only 4 crores, and they've introduced a rule that if you've not played for your country in the last 5 years, then you can get retained as an uncapped player. So this benefits players like Mahendra Singh Dhoni and even Vijay Shankar, who has a chance now to play for another international team.
Uh,
They can easily get selected now as an uncapped player in the IPL. I think that's going to be very interesting in that way. Like teams can, retain the uncapped players. I think it will benefit CSK the most because obviously Dhoni getting him at 4 crores is like a bargain any day of the week for CSK.
I think Dhoni should just retire by now. Really, a bit too much, you don't think? The glaze.
Yeah, I mean Dhoni is getting older, but you know, I think his knowledge is so key for Chennai Super Kings, and I think they
Can
value him
you
that,
can
that
all
highly. So I think they
you
will
can
keep him.
always come back. You can always come as a mentor.